Shield.
We have, of course, we have to acknowledge our friends from the sports
Please,
press. So our next question asker is Mr. Randy Kaliwag of Manila Standard Today Sports.
Okay.
Yes? Questions?
This is for direct on. You have been talking for quite a while with Manny Pacquiao. What are your thoughts about this movie being, or this movie providing motivation for Manny's biggest fight of his career? And what were your thoughts when you were talking with him? How this movie will motivate him in his fight against Floyd Mayweather?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, the film was actually 3 years in the making, so we're actually very blessed to have come out, you know, about what? We're going to open about 2 weeks before the biggest fight of boxing history, hindi lang in life na. I think, personally, the way I feel, my relationship with Manny when we're doing this is that this film reminds him of where he came from. Where he came from. He came from nothing. He mentioned that in his press conference with Floyd. This movie brought him back to those days where he was Emmanuel Pacquiao, you know, Emmanuel that was his name before. And every time he would talk, especially in the early part, and Floyd was there also, you could see he gets emotional when he talks about, you know, his mother. You know, he said something to me that I think really hit me, and I really felt that this movie has to be made. Was he goes, you know, not verbatim, but something like, oh, you know, yung boxing, yung nakikita mo na yun sa TV, na knockout ako, nagka-training, lahat yan. Hindi yan sakit. Hindi yan sakit para sa akin. Yung sakit, yung walang bahay, walang pagkain, walang pamilya, yan ang masakit. Diba? Yung sa boxing na yun, pag na-knockout pa ako, at least may pera ako, may pamilya, di ba? Pero na, yung talaga pagbata ako, ano yan, Paul, wala akong bahay. And I think the process of doing this film, you could see that there's that fire kind of resurrecting in his life. And he remembers where he came from, and I think I was just with him last week in Los Angeles, and you could see the passion and the fire kind of growing again every time he watches some of the scenes that we shot, especially the scenes with Mommy D. He gets a little emotional, and he's really proud of the film, and he's hoping that this can also inspire all the Filipinos to rally behind him as he gets into that ring and hopefully, you know, shuts up Mayweather with that left straight. That's all we want. That's what we want, right? And that's what we want to see. And if this film can be just, you know, a little help, 1% help, I think we're successful as storytellers. So.
This is practically where Manny really started, no? Did he ever give you a hint that his fight against Mayweather is going to be the fitting end to his storied career?
Well, I mean, you know, with or without Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao is going to go down as one of the best boxers in boxing history. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. You cannot take away the 8 world division titles or the 10 world titles, you know, 8 weight. I mean, it's unprecedented. So Mayweather does not define Manny. You know, I think Manny, for me, of course, I can be biased, but what Manny has done is he unites a nation. You know, I mean, where can 100 million people come together for an hour and just be at peace? You know, I mean, I know we're in ABS, but he's able to unite networks. You know, he's able to unite, you know, big networks abroad. You know, endorsements, he's able to unite that. And I felt, you know, wow, this young boy who grew up in, you know, in Sarangani, in Bukidnon, in the mountains, is able to influence not just the Philippines, but the world. And on May 3, here in the Philippines, the world will stop and watch our hero, Manny Pacquiao, carry that flag proudly, you know, win or lose. You know, he's got my support, and I believe every Filipino can say the same.
Thank you, Coach. Direct. because my next question is for Coach Erwin.
Coach Erwin.
Coach.
Erwin, you have been one of the best MMA fighter of your time, no? But this is boxing. How were you able to transform yourself directing these fight scenes in this movie?
Okay, I do mixed martial arts for those hindi kilala sa akin. And boxing is just one aspect of MMA. And since first sport ko naman talaga boxing, wala pang MMA, everyone's a big fan of Manny Pacquiao. And fight choreography, we can do different movements, no? Pero before kami mag-start dito, kinuusap ako ni Direct Paul. Fine-tune niya yung mindset namin lahat. So, isa-isa ni characters, pati ako, sinet aside na. Sabi niya sa akin, ano na mga ginawa mong movie? So, The Janitor, Kimidora, Becky Maxer, kalimutan mo lahat ng going one level higher. Gusto kong gawin natin ito, tapatan natin yung movie ni Ali, yung movie ni Raging Bull, Cinderella, Robert Leo, gagawin natin Pacquiao. So, yun yung mindset na bago kami mag-start, yun yung nasa isip ko. Tapatan namin yung mga movies na yun. And then, bawat action, may story, may significant movements or action si Manny na meron na nung bata siya hanggang sa naging pro siya. Pero hindi pwedeng magaling na magaling agad. Makita lang natin yung strong left hand, yung perseverance niya, yung tapang pag tinatamaan. So yung mga habits niya na, uy, dati pa pala siyang gano'n. Hanggang ngayon, meron siya gano'n. So may footwork na siya ngayon. So maganda na yung counters niya, pero nandun pa rin yung left hand. Pag tinamaan siya, lalo siya tumatama. Makikita yung resemblance niya.
You have one more question? Yes?
One final question for the benefit na rin ng nakararami. Anybody can answer, whoever can answer this. Is it, just to confirm, no, Vino Kulafu is a wine, no, an old wine in the province kasi. It represents kasi strong, parang dato or something. Kulafu is Tarzan, parang gano'n. So is it, he was called Kid Kulafu because of that? That's the title of this movie.
Well, I mean, actually, it was Froilan who came up with the title Kid Kulafu. You know, that was a struggle of mine, you know. I was always praying, what can we call this movie? You know? Something unique, something creative. And Froy, I remember, I don't know if it was through text or email, said, Kid Kulafu. And it was instantly, I said, that's the title. So that's the title. And yeah, I mean, honestly, it's one of those stories in the film where you'll realize, why was he Kid Kulafu? Yes, you're correct. It's Vino Kulafu is I guess like a shoktong, they call that, like a drink, no, in the province. Very popular in Mindanao. Actually, if you go to Mindanao today, you can actually get Kulafu. I know a lot of my two producers there, they're a fan of Kulafu. They're always drinking that. Sila Lucky especially. Pero ayan, he used to collect bottles. You know, yung diba sa bar, diba, ang inuman yan, diba, and then usually sometimes yung bote, yung mga iwan, then you can collect it in the morning and then bring it back to the supplier and get mga 5 centavos. Deposit, diba? So yan ang ginagawa niya every morning. Uy, si Kulafu. So when his uncle Sardo, played by Cesar Montano, ano mo pangalan nito? Ay, si Kid Kulafu yan. He was known as Kid Kulafu throughout. So parang nun, that was kind of how he got the name, diba? Troy, you want to add to that?
Yeah, by some luck, we found out that Kid Kulafu is actually the name of a comic book character, no? Original Filipino strongman na parang Tarzan, no? Which Latondenya later acquired some rights to come up with this Chinese medicinal wine na Kid yung Shoktong nga. And dun yung uso nun yun eh. So yung binibenta ni Sardo, ng uncle niya, yun yung kanyang sinasalansan na suso. Kaya siya nabansagan. Vino Kulafu talaga yung Shoktong na yan, Guinness wine. So it's an alcoholic.
Just to close that question, I don't know if this is something all of you know, no? I mean, we're getting to know Manny Pacquiao, no? But he has a middle name. His real name is Emmanuel Tapidran Pacquiao. I'm sure you know this. The Pidran is actually known as a warrior tribe in the mountains of Bukidnon. That's why they have warrior blood. I mean, if you go back to when General Santos was called the Jangas, diba? They were, Freud, I mean, we stumbled upon that research. Like Freud was saying earlier, we have so much. We can actually make another movie. But the challenge that Freud and Amor had was how do we make it, you know, an hour and 40 minutes? Ang daming kwento, daming scenes. And, you know, as a filmmaker, being visual, that was my biggest fight with Freud was, I want this, I want that. But first, like, no, Direk, we have to go back to him character. No, but I need that. I mean, that was our biggest disagreement. No? But it was fun, you know, to get to know all these things, you know, and you know, I think that's why si Mami D, Kapidran, di ba? Lalakas din si Mami D, di ba?
Does she drink Kulafu as well?
I don't know about today, but back in the day, she was quite a fan of Kulafu. In a good way, of course.